Frank at Bottom Line Ministries Debt Free. Welcome back to another session on this beautiful Wednesday night. You know, it's been a beautiful, partly sunny day here in the beautiful Northwest. And I call it partly sunny. Some people might say it was partly cloudy. But it's like the old proverbial, is the glass half full or is half empty? Either way, you're right. It's how you see it. And I choose to see life that way. I choose to see life as half full. I choose to see life as going on my way up, to having a full and abundant life, to having a life that brings me a lot of joy and brings a lot of joy to other people. I try to look for the good in things because you know what? The bad will find you on your own. You ever notice the one thing about a child? You never, like a 2-year-old or even a 1-year-old, you'll never have to teach them to say no. They kind of learn that all on their own. No, no, no. But you have to teach them to say yes. And you never have to look for the bad things in life because they'll come all by themselves. But you do have to put the effort towards finding the good things. And one of the things that's beautiful about life, whatever you look for, you'll find. So I choose to look for the beautiful things in life. I choose to see the glass half full. And that's why I said it was a partly sunny day. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So last week, we talked about, I told you I was going to change the session up a little bit. And because if with everything that's going on in the world and all the uncertainty that's going on in the world, I remember back in the 50s when I was a young boy, we used to have nuclear bomb drills where the siren would go off at the school and we would get up under the desk. And unfortunately, the kids today, some of them are thinking about the same thing. And that's really unfortunate, but that's where we are in life and we're going to have to deal with it. And that's why I wanted to talk to you last week, what I thought was one of the most important things in life. And that's your relationship with Jesus Christ and eternal life. And like I said to you last week, some people might say, well, Frank, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in eternal life. And you could be I don't think you're right. And I said to you, maybe I'm not right. But what if you're wrong? So that's why I said, I know for a fact that spending life with Christ is the most important. Living your life for Christ and spending your life in eternity with Christ is the most important thing of all. But now I want to get back to living here on earth. How are we supposed to live this life out? Now, there's some fundamental things that we need to know. I mean, just fundamental, basic things that we need to know. I mean, fundamental things like, when you were growing up, your mom and dad taught you, or someone taught you this. Basic hygiene. Number 1, brush your teeth. Number 2, put on clean underwear. Number 3, put on deodorant. Okay? Those are just basic things. There's no argument there. If you want to keep your friends, you'll follow those basic things. And so these are some of the basic things I want to talk to you about today. And like I said last week, we're going to talk about ESP. And remember, I said a lot of people think of ESP as extrasensory perception. But when I'm mentioning ESP, I want you to think of it this way. Earn it, save it, protect it. Earn it, save it, protect it. And tonight, I want to talk to you about earning it. What do you do for a living? How do you earn your money? How do you make a living in this life? Whether you're a mechanic, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're an athlete, if you're a musician or an artist, how do you make your money? Now that you've made your money, how do you maintain it? How do you keep it? Do you have the tools? Or do you get your check? Your check goes into your bank account? Or you might get your check in your hand and you just spend until there's no more money or until the next pay and hope for the next payday. That's not really living at all. That's not really living at all. And so We're going to talk about budgeting. We're going to talk about creating a budget. But earning your money is so important. But there's something else that's more important that if you're a family, I want you to get a grasp of. And I'm going to deviate tonight because I think this thing is so important. I mentioned to you last week about some friends of mine who've gone through this just recently. And I saw the pain. I saw the frustration. I saw the financial hardship that it caused. And that thing is this. I don't care if you just got married or you've been married for 50 years, especially if you've been married, say, less than 5 years, and you have a family. If you have someone that you really love, there's something that you absolutely must have. Number one is insurance, life insurance. Well, Frank, I don't need life insurance because da 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 da. Okay, let me tell you something. Number one, life insurance isn't about you. Life insurance is about the people that you love. Preferably, I'm talking about your wife. I'm talking about your kids. It's for them. And in reality, guess what? If you're collecting your life insurance, you've got a bigger problem. It's called fraud, and you might end up in jail. So understand this, and I say that jokingly, but I just want you to think about it. And not only think about it, do something about it. If you're a young person today and you can get life insurance for less than what you spend for, say, you and your spouse or you and your family at Applebee's every month. Because if something happens to you, don't you want them taken care of? Don't you know, it's bad enough that they have to grieve your loss. And right now I'm speaking to the guys. And you know, because if you have a two-income family, and most people do these days, then at least get the full income on the guy and half of it on your wife, on your spouse. Or if you can do both, that is great. Because if you're a young person, especially the younger you are, the better it is. And all you're doing is making sure if there's anything happens to you, they are taken care of. And you might say, well, you know, Frank, I might not never use it. Really? When's the last time you used your car insurance? I mean, because you have car insurance, you just ride around looking for somebody to hit because you have car insurance, right? No. The only reason you have car insurance, number one, is it's a law, and they make you do it. But number two is that if anything happens to you in that car, it's covered. Same thing with if you have home insurance. If something happens to your home, like a fire or something, you want to make sure it's covered so your family has a place to come back to. You should have renter's insurance. Renter's insurance is so inexpensive. You should have, because if something happens to that place, it gets flooded out, a pipe bursts or something, where will you go? If you have family around that can take you in, great. But you know, family get tired of you real quick. But if you had renter's insurance, that would cover you. So I just want to encourage you to get life insurance. I want to encourage you to get renter's insurance. But the number one thing I want to encourage you in these next few minutes, I want to encourage you to have a will. I just wanted that to sink in. That's why I was quiet. Yes, a will. We don't like to think about those things. But you don't know if you've seen the pain on the faces of those left behind, trying to unravel that mess that goes on when a loved one passes on into eternity and they don't have a will. They can have a lot of money and they could have great intentions. But if it's not in writing, it means nothing. And it's like, always it's like taking a plate of spaghetti and handing it to someone and telling them to find both ends. That's how complicated it is. But if you have a will, and it's easy to get a will these days. If you know somebody that is with Legal Shield, when you become a member of Legal Shield, your will is complimentary. I'm a member of Legal Shield. I'm not telling you to come to me. I'm telling you to find someone with Legal Shield. Get a membership. Get your will done. And another thing, a lot of people don't think about it. You take for granted that if something happens to you or your wife, or if something happens to you or your spouse, or both of you, and you have kids, that they're going to go to grandma, or they're going to go to mom and dad, or they're going to go to Aunt Sue's. No, that is not a given. The state, they become wards of the state. The state makes that decision. Do you really want your kids to where they live and how they're raised to be decided, that the state would decide who they go to? Or would you rather make that decision for them? Who loves them more than you? Who would take care of them better than you? You know what they need. You know their personalities. You know what's best for them. So why wouldn't you put it in writing in a will? So therefore, it can say it is written. You see, those things are so important. So I'll reiterate, I'm challenging you to look into what I'm telling you. Ask around. And tell you what, ask people who are senior than you. And for those of you that are, say, over 40 and 50, you already know what I'm talking about, especially if you're over 50. Ask them. And some of you have already experienced where someone passed in your family and it was chaotic. It was an absolute mess on top of all that pain of that loved one being lost. Do you really want that for your family? I don't think you do. So I'm challenging you to get life insurance. I'm challenging you to get renter's insurance. I'm challenging you to get your will done. You know, in the Bible, there's a verse, John 10:10. Jesus said, I came not only that you could have life. Let me back up. John 10:10 says this, the thief comes but to rob, kill, and destroy. But I came that not only that you could have life, but have it more abundantly. And this is a part of creating that abundant life, is getting your house in order, taking care of the ones that you love, so you can go and enjoy life and know that everything is going to be okay. So that's all for me tonight. And remember, ESP, earn it, save it, protect it. Because the bottom line is simply this: debt is not your destiny. And also, if you want more information on that, just go to my website, bottomlineministries.org, or you can even send me a message, text me, or just go to Bottomline Ministries Debt Free on my Facebook page. Either way, contact me if you have any questions. Be more than happy to help you. Until next Wednesday, 7 o'clock, same time, invite a friend, join me. Let's talk about this. Have a blessed week.